You'll remember in the previous tutorial when I talked about bringing in digital video footage, and also in the tutorial before that one. Well, you'll remember I talked about one way of bringing in video footage from an analog camera rather than from a digital camera was by originally transferring the analog footage to a hard disk recorder that's mainly used to record TV programs. But by connecting an analog camera to a device like that would mean it's very easy to transfer that analog footage and then digitize it in terms of converting it into a DVD. And then the next step would simply be to import that video footage that's been converted to the DVD format into Premiere Pro. Now, I make it sound quite easy, and on the whole it is quite easy, but there are a few things that we do need to be aware of. First of all, as I've referred to previously, the quality isn't going to be very good. However, that's something we're going to have to live with. There's nothing really we can do about that. Another issue is the way that DVDs are created. They're not ideal really when you want to transfer or import into Premiere Pro, in that they're quite a slow medium. So a suggestion would be copy the files from the DVD onto your hard drive, and then you can simply import from there. It will be a much faster and much more smooth process once you start editing. And also a major obstacle when you rip from a DVD is that Premiere Pro references the DVD files, but from the DVD itself. So should you remove the DVD from your disk drive, then from that point Premiere Pro won't have those files to work with. They will be registered as offline. So as I say, probably the best advice is to transfer those files onto your hard drive, keeping their file structure intact. If you open up a DVD on your PC, you'll see there will be a couple of folders inside, a video folder and an audio folder. On the whole, the audio folder is empty, but copy it across just in case. You never know, there might be an audio file in there that does get referenced. The main folder for us though is the video folder. If you look inside a video folder, you'll see that the video files themselves are the larger file sizes. Any small ones are probably menus or something like that. But the larger files are video files, and they'll be indicated with the suffix VOB, V-O-B, video object. Well, that's what we're really looking for. Anyway, that's the theory. What I am going to do in this tutorial is go through the process of bringing in a DVD, but actually from the DVD itself, rather than copying it across and keeping a copy on my hard drive, despite me telling you that that's probably the best way to do it. I'm only doing it this way for alacrity's sake. So, all I need to do, after I've placed the DVD in my disk drive, is come up to File, and then down to Import. Notice the shortcut, Ctrl+I, and then now, by navigating to the DVD drive, then I'll see these folders inside here, this video folder. Remember I was talking about this a moment ago? And you'll see all these 4 VOB files here. 3 main files, which will be the video content, and the first one there, more than likely to be the menu. Now, you can't do anything here in terms of searching and splitting these. You're going to have to bring the whole file in. And then within Premiere Pro, it's at that point you can edit. So I'm going to grab any of these. I'll go for that one and then simply hit open. Dependent on how fast your machine is, this can take a few moments. But anyway, once it has been imported, you'll now see that reference down here within our project panel. Here is that VTC number 1 VOB file with a little thumbnail view just above. Now this is actually a very old DVD in that it was brought in from an analog tape, and it's a music instructional video for the Japanese company Roland. Well, if I now want to edit this, then I can do. If I double click on the VOB file down here, then you'll see in my source monitor that I can skip through to certain sections, and if I wanted to, I would trim away parts of this what I don't want. Don't worry that we've not covered this yet. We will cover this in more detail as we progress. I'm just showing you the principles of how this works. Now, of course, because this has been brought in from a DVD, although originally an analog video cassette, you'll notice in the information down here in the project panel that we do see pertinent information, such as it's been recorded at 48,000 Hz, the audio is compressed, the audio is stereo, but importantly, just above, we'll see that the frame rate is 25 frames per second. And that's only because it has been converted to a DVD using the PAL format here in the UK that, as we now know, runs at 25 frames per second. If this had been brought in from an NTSC DVD, then the frame rate there would say 30 frames per second, or just below anyway, 29.97. Furthermore, we see this information down here. Here's the frame rate, 25 frames per second. And then if I want to horizontally scroll along to the right, I see further information, such as the video info here informs me of the DVD size, which is the PAL format, 720 by 576. Okay, easy enough. Now if I wanted to use this on my timeline, and that's really the purpose for bringing it in, of course, then by clicking here, I can create a new sequence. And once I've created a new sequence, I'm actually going to ignore the dialog box for the moment. I'll just accept all this, because once I have created this sequence, I can now left click on this VOB file and drag and drop over onto my timeline there, onto video track 1 and its related audio track 1. And that's it really. That's the simple process of importing a DVD. Now remember, this DVD doesn't have to have been a converted analog tape, but we've done it this way so that you can see the process.